a fake pregnancy belly stuffed with cocaine, a live alligator hidden in yoga pants, a fugitive who fooled the entire country for nearly 30 years. These aren't scenes from a movie. These events happened on real roads and were captured by real body cameras. Number 10. The most wanted man on the highway. August 16, 2022, Oconee County, Georgia. Deputies stopped a Mazda for offense. No plates or insurance. The driver calmly presented a South Carolina license and acted completely normal. But when officers ran the license through the system, it came back as suspended and backup was called. At the county jail, when they took his fingerprints, everything changed. His real name was Mohammed Bilal El-Amin, and he had been hiding from the law since 1994, nearly 28 years. In November of that year, El-Amin, then 19, had shot his 18-year-old friend at the Oakland station of the Atlanta subway system before disappearing. By 2001, the FBI had him on its most wanted list. For almost 30 years, he lived anew under a totally fake identity, with no one suspecting. No one in his circle suspected a thing. Officers in this Georgia county had no idea they were about to close a murder case that had been open longer than most of their careers. The Mazda with expired tags was hiding one of the longest-running fugitives in the United States. Number 9. A traffic stop literally saved a woman's life. On December 2, 2022, in the town of Mount Pleasant, South Carolina, officers were called about a driver swerving dangerously between lanes and repeatedly hitting the curb. When they pulled over the red SUV and spoke to the woman behind the wheel, they immediately ruled out alcohol or drugs. She was perfectly sober, but complained of a severe and unrelenting headache. Something seemed off, so instead of writing a ticket, they called an ambulance. That decision changed everything. At the hospital, a CT scan revealed a brain tumor the size of a large orange growing inside her skull that had never been diagnosed. What made this story even more shocking was the suspected cause. In April 1986, this woman was living just 10 miles from the Chernobyl nuclear power plant in Ukraine when it exploded, and she remained in the area for 3 full days after the accident. 36 years later, 2 officers expecting a drunk driver instead discovered a medical emergency that was days away from becoming fatal. The surgery was performed 2 days after the traffic stop and was a success. She celebrated her 58th birthday a week later and thanked the 2 officers for saving her life. Before we continue, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Number 8. 1,500 grams hid under fake belly. On April 12, 2023, in Anderson, South Carolina, a couple was pulled over after the driver swerved across multiple lanes and nearly hit a semi-truck. From the first moments, something seemed off. The couple stated, unprompted, that the woman was pregnant. Their story kept changing, and their answers about the due date and their destination contradicted each other. When the woman sensed the officers were getting suspicious, she tried to run. As she moved, 1,500 grams of cocaine spilled onto the ground. The entire pregnancy was a performance. She was wearing a custom-made rubber fake belly, carefully taped to her body and filled with drugs. Both were arrested and charged with cocaine trafficking. What struck investigators was the scale of the planning. Crafting a convincing rubber fake belly and using it as a smuggling device on a public road, in front of cameras, showed a level of preparation that went far beyond a spontaneous decision. This method isn't entirely unheard of in documented smuggling cases, but to discover it live, during a traffic stop, on body camera footage, was a first for the officers involved that day. Number 7. The driver impersonating a police officer. In February 2016, officers pulled over a driver for suspicious behavior on a public road. Inside the vehicle, they found weapons, official-looking badges, and what appeared to be a full law enforcement kit, completely assembled and ready to use. When they ran his identity through the system, it confirmed what the inconsistencies had already suggested. This man had no legitimate role in law enforcement. A search of his home revealed an even larger collection of the same gear. Police impersonation on highways is more common and more dangerous than most people realize. Fake officers have used flashing lights and sirens to pull over real drivers on isolated stretches of road, sometimes with intentions that investigators call deeply alarming. Safety trainers now actively educate the public on how to verify the legitimacy of a stop, including calling emergency services directly for confirmation before pulling over in an isolated area. A fully equipped fake police vehicle, complete with weapons and badges, isn't just a traffic violation. It's a sign that a much more organized and far more dangerous operation was already underway, waiting for the next deserted stretch of highway. Number 6. 4 abducted children in a stolen van. On November 30, 2021, in Detroit, Michigan, a woman was pulled over for running a red light. Officers approached and immediately noticed 4 children in the back seat, all crying and visibly distressed. The woman claimed she was rushing them to school. When officers asked which school, she couldn't answer. When they asked her if the children were hers, all 4 silently shook their heads. That silent answer changed everything. Officers took her into custody and discovered the van was stolen, the children were not hers, and that she had abducted the 4 siblings, aged 5 to 11, as they were walking to school that morning. The children were returned to their family, and the woman, who had a long criminal record, was charged with 4 counts of kidnapping, 4 counts of false imprisonment, and driving a stolen vehicle. What makes this story truly unsettling is how differently things could have gone. 1 ticket, 1 goodbye, and 4 children disappear forever. One officer sensed something was wrong, asked one more question, and then finally listened to the children. Number 5. 27 people were hidden inside the trailer. On May 24, 2024, near McAllen, Texas, an officer pulled over a Ford F-250 towing a horse trailer. The driver claimed it contained 2 horses. The officers asked to check, and the driver agreed, but added, "Be careful, they're aggressive." When the hatch opened, there were no horses inside. Instead, crammed into the trailer's storage space were 27 people, all from Mexico, in distress and sweating profusely in extreme heat with no ventilation. 3 women were severely dehydrated and needed immediate medical attention. Authorities turned the 27 individuals over to federal border officials, and the driver was taken into custody, facing federal human smuggling charges. What made this particularly chilling was the precision of that warning about aggressive horses. It wasn't improvised. It was rehearsed, designed to stop the officer from opening that hatch with too much confidence or too quickly. Investigators noted that this practice of using livestock trailers to conceal people reflects a calculated escalation in methods used by smuggling rings operating along major Texas highways, where thousands of commercial vehicles pass uninspected daily. Number 4. A cat survived a 321 kilometers trip in an engine. On September 27, 2023, in the city of La Verkin, Utah, a woman was pulled over for a minor traffic violation while driving home from a family visit. The officer was about to let her go when he heard something strange, a faint meow coming from under the hood. She said her 6-month-old cat Gus vanished a day and a half earlier, just before her 321 kilometers trip. As the officer approached the front of the car, he saw a small, furry paw sticking out of the grille. Gus had traveled inside the engine compartment for the entire trip, surviving the heat, vibrations, and highway speeds. The officer freed the cat in just 4 minutes. Gus was unharmed. The woman received no ticket. The rescue was captured on the officer's body camera and widely shared by the media as a rare moment of warmth in a profession that rarely offers it. Animal rescue specialists later noted that while cats have survived in engine compartments for short trips, surviving 321 kilometers over a day and a half is, by all accounts, extraordinary. Number 3. The driver who forgot he was driving. On October 20, 2021, in Burlington, Ontario, Canada, a traffic officer saw a driver at a red light playing flute, both hands on it, none on wheel. That alone would have been enough to pull him over. But when the light turned green, the man simply kept playing, following the music from a portable player and driving into traffic. The officer couldn't believe what the body camera was recording. The driver, a man in his 40s, was not intoxicated or in distress, but simply engrossed in his music. He was charged under the Ontario Highway Traffic Act for failing to pull away safely after stopping. The story became a topic of much discussion online and in traffic safety debates due to its combination of being both absurd and genuinely dangerous. Researchers studying distracted driving regularly point out that taking both hands off the steering wheel, for any reason, carries the same crash risk as texting while driving, a practice that has been linked to thousands of fatalities in documented traffic safety studies around the world. Number 2. An FBI most wanted fugitive caught because of a taillight. Not all fugitives hide for decades. Some are caught within months, simply because an officer noticed a broken taillight or an illegal lane change. In numerous documented cases across the United States, individuals on the FBI's most wanted list have been apprehended during simple highway traffic stops. Officers ran the license plates, checked the databases, and within seconds, a speeding ticket ended a massive federal manhunt. What criminologists find most striking about these cases is the method. These arrests were not the result of elaborate surveillance or years of undercover work. They were the result of a missing registration sticker, a faulty light, or a turn without a signal. Researchers have confirmed, after analyzing years of arrest records, that a significant portion of violent offenders and long-term fugitives in the United States are apprehended during routine traffic stops, not planned operations. These individuals thought they had successfully blended into ordinary life, and they were right until a patrolling highway officer noticed a seemingly trivial detail. Number 1. A woman hid an alligator on her body. At 3:15 a.m. on May 6, 2019, 2 sheriff's deputies in Punta Gorda, Florida, saw a pickup truck run a stop sign. Inside were a man and a woman who explained they had been collecting frogs and snakes from under a nearby overpass. The officers inspected their backpacks. The man's bag contained clothing and nothing unusual. But when they opened the woman's backpack, they found more than 40 live turtles crammed inside. Ironically, in a bag with a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles design. The officers then asked if she had anything else. She reached into her yoga pants, pulled out a 1-foot-long live alligator, and calmly placed it in the bed of the pickup truck. Florida law strictly prohibits the possession of protected reptiles without a special permit, and both individuals were charged with multiple wildlife violations. The woman was sentenced to 24 months of probation, 200 hours of community service, and a $500 donation to a wildlife fund. All the animals were seized and later released. It remains one of the strangest traffic stops in Florida law enforcement history, and that's saying something, as Florida has no shortage of bizarre highway stories. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss new videos.